get it from him. No, get it from him.
You know what? This is the best way I can answer that question.
Porter Morning Show, he'll mess it up real good. What's up, brother? I see you been in the gym doing your thing.
Like I said,
I'm on that Porter workout.
I said I was ready. A lot of people didn't know I was ready.
LA is becoming your second home.
When he says that
You're
he's
here
ready,
damn near
that's
every
when he's
week.
ready.
Well, we lived here for 2 years. Yeah, before we went to Vegas, so that's where we was at. So, you know, we enjoy coming over here, especially a fight like this. Dominic was one of my guys. I had him in camp. He was on my junior world team when he was 15.
What's his chances?
Great fight.
You know what? He's got the talent. I don't know what, I don't know what the odds are on him winning this. It doesn't look good from that standpoint, but hey, that's why we do this. It's called a fight, so you can't just write it in. You can't mail it in. So he, if he shows up and he gets, I want to see him, and I just told him already. I'm already proud of him. I want to see him get past them early rounds and get past some early rounds and try to trick this guy, man. Try to out-slick him and outsmart him, because I don't see him being able to bang with this guy.
What advice would you, if you was in his
Everybody
corner,
else.
Kenny, what advice would you give him? How would you tell him how to fight Gennady Golovkin?
That would be probably my strategy. Would be we need to get through these early rounds. We need to extend this guy, past 5 or 6 rounds. We need to be smart, intelligent, slick, tricky. He needs to do a lot of different things that the guy doesn't expect him to do. If that takes, the route of, moving more than you normally would move. If that takes the route of, say holding more than you normally would hold, clinch, do whatever you got to do to extend this guy into the round. Because this guy's dangerous early. He's very dangerous. He's dangerous the whole fight. But yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya said that he can't fight going backwards, Golovkin. He said he has to rely on his power. You agree with that or disagree with that?
I haven't studied him that much to be able to agree or not agree, but I go back to the amateurs with him, and I watched him beat our guys in the amateurs, all the way back, when Andre Durrell was in the amateurs. So, his experience level is there. He's primed for this type of fight. He hasn't stepped up to the higher level of competition, or the higher level of competition hasn't stepped up to him. Take your pick. So I like to see that happen. But we'll see what happens tonight or tomorrow night.
All right. Now you didn't get back at me, so I got to ask you the question.
What was that?
Errol Spence.
Yeah.
What'd you think about Errol Spence? Both of you guys. I want to get your take on his performance, knocking out Chris Algieri. Is he at the elite level? Is he ready for everybody at welterweight now, or what do you think?
I just think, I'm happy for him. He did a good job on national TV and got a great win. You don't want to detract from that at all. Again, that was one of my guys. I took Errol to Russia. I took Errol to Europe. We went to Azerbaijan for the World Championships together. We trained together for a whole entire year. So I'm happy that he's successful and he had a great fight that night. But come on, let's keep it real for a second here. Just like anybody else in boxing, there's levels of competition, and there's, stepping your game up and stepping up to different type of fights, not the same type of fighter. So, Chris wasn't really able to keep Errol off of him, and so, I think we need to see Errol in there with somebody that can actually stand up to him and see what happens in that situation.
Is he ready for the big guys? Is he ready for them, or does he need more season? How do you guys think?
Everybody thinks they're ready, and we won't know that until you get there. But again, let me use a quick comparison, not to take anything away from Chris Algieri at all. Chris Algieri was not Paulie Malignaggi in his best days. He would be much lesser than Paulie Malignaggi. Competition-wise, as far as the guys he stepped up and fought, he hasn't been successful in the guys when he stepped up to fight them. We could have looked at the Provodnikov fight and said it got stopped early because Chris's eye was closed. They could have stopped that fight very easily. So if that doesn't happen, does he even get those other fights? He probably doesn't. And every fight since then, Pacquiao, Amir Khan, and now Errol Spence, he's lost those fights. So it's not a really a good measuring stick of a top level guy. It's not.
So do you guys overlook him now? Because I know when Floyd said he should fight Thurman or he should fight Shawn, everybody kind of overlooked him. Oh, he's not ready. Do you guys still feel that way about him? But he's proved himself a little bit more than he was before.
Why should we look at him because Floyd said so? Come on, man. Floyd's still running around here talking about Tank is the next Floyd. Floyd is a long way from the lip to the cup. I'm sure he don't understand what that means. But this little space right here to take this sip could be 100 years before you see another Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's props to him. But for you to let that come out of your mouth and put that on somebody else, not the right message you're sending to that guy. So nah, you know, everybody got to take their steps, and everybody will get to that point. And I'm sure that, you know, June 25th, after that fight's over, whoever wins that fight, they'll be saying, you know, is this person or that person ready for them? But I'm sure we're looking for bigger and better. I'm sure Keith is looking for bigger and better. Nobody's looking back. None of us are looking back at upcoming guys. We're looking at the guys that are right here with us right now. The Pacquiaos, the Tim Bradleys, you know, the top level guys that are here right now.
What do you think, Shawn? Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. I think he looked very impressive against Algieri, but again, you know, Algieri has not, you know, been the guy that, you know, we saw when he fought Provodnikov fighting through a storm and winning that fight. So, like my dad said, it's a hard measuring stick to put it up against when you look at Chris Algieri, but an impressive victory on Errol's part. But me as a fighter, like I was just telling somebody, I'm not a matchmaker, so y'all just tell me when I got to fight who I'm fighting, and then that's what I handle.
Shawn, you been in there. You already been in there with Kell Brook, and now he's real close to being Kell Brook's mandatory. How does that fight play out?
I think he beats Kell Brook. You know, I think that he's got everything that it takes. You know, and he's a very good fighter. You know, and I'm not the one to judge whether or not he's ready. You know, only he can do that. Only his team can do that. So you put him in the ring with Kell Brook. We'll see what happens.
So you have a date and a time and a place now for your matchup with Keith Thurman. Do you feel a sense of relief now that that's
No sense of relief. Just a sense of, if anything, urgency to be ready, urgency to do what we thought we were going to do in March and, you know, the month before that. So that's it. I just feel a sense of wanting to do this and being there in the ring and doing it against one of the best.
And how do you like the venue, the Barclays, as opposed to the West?
Love the venue. Love the venue. Yeah, we moved to Vegas to fight in Vegas, but you know, if we're not fighting in Vegas, I wouldn't love to fight anywhere else other than the Barclays. That's a great arena to fight at.
LA's nice.
You got some sparring wars. Who have you invited to spar with you for campus?
Nobody yet for this one. We're still hashing that out.
Is that Dad with his jab?
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh no. Nah, man, this is just I bit it and it just irritated it and got up.
What do you think about bringing that to campus? And what do you think about bringing it to campus?
You know, we're going to keep the two guys we started off the last camp with. They did a really good job. Brandon Adams, 18-2, and Brandon Lynch. And then we're gonna sprinkle some other guys in. I haven't decided who that will be as of yet, but we're gonna look for some even rougher, tougher guys than those guys. I don't expect that you know, we'll have one game plan. We'll probably have, you know, multiple game plans for this fight and multiple strategies for this fight, because, you know, I spend enough time with Keith. You know, I spend enough time with him in the amateurs. I spend enough time with him in the pros, in camps, things like that. So I know that you know, he's been scouting Shawn. I saw an interview he did. It's like, damn, he's the first person got it right. You know, he really hit it on the head. Either that, or he's got a great publicist, because somebody, you know, really put down a good, basically a synopsis of what Shawn Porter would do in a fight. So, you know, we're going to use different guys because we're going to be looking for different looks, multiple looks from those guys. We might even bring in a southpaw.
You mentioned amateurs, and at one point of your career, you were like a father figure or uncle to Adrian Broner. What are your thoughts on Adrian Broner now, and what does he need in his career and or in his life?
With him being indicted.
With him being indicted, him just getting out of jail yesterday.
He said he may do some real time.
You know,
right
because but see, that goes from boxing, it becomes personal. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into.
No, I wouldn't on the positive. I wouldn't talk about on the negative side.
No, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just, even when you speak on and when you say anything about anyone that be on a personal level, it's they get offended. You know what I mean? So, you know, the best thing I could say, anything that I could do, I would always do it for him, whatever that is. He's got, you know, some good people that love him in place, but, you know, that's not always the best thing for you as well. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that love him, but they're not allowed to come around. Just not allowed to come around. Point blank and simple. a place for everything, and obviously now the time and the place for him to put that stuff behind him is now. Look for a fresh new start and try to do things, the right way. So, I'm wishing him well. If anything I could do for him, I would do that. But he got some situations, he got some fights outside of the ring. He got to fight. He got to fight his way through them now.
When you look at this fight with Thurman, do you anticipate it to be a harder fight than the Brook fight, or kind of on the same level?
Nah, you know what? I think Keith's gonna fight more than Brook did. Brook's game plan, grab and hold Shawn, grab and hold. You know what I mean? That I highly doubt that Keith's gonna try to do that. I'm sure it's gonna be a harder fight, more exciting fight than the Brook fight, and we're gonna try to make it much more exciting than the Brook fight. So moving forward here, getting closer to June 25th date, we'll crank up everything. We will have a lot of our guys actually doing a lot of clinching and holding as well. Yeah, we're gonna be prepared for a lot more from him than we have today.
Do you agree, Shawn?
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. From my perspective, it's just a matter of this fight's gonna be much better for me. A lot of things that I lacked against Kell Brook, I won't lack in this fight. One of those key things being intelligence. I wasn't intelligent through 12 rounds of fighting Kell Brook. Yeah, I applied pressure. Yeah, I think I won, but it just wasn't enough, and I know where I didn't have enough, and it was definitely from the mental aspect, the focus aspect, listening to